Hey YouTube, Gordon Miller here. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and cover something that I recently covered in a Quora post, and it was a question that was something like, my life is over, I'm worthless, and I want to kill myself, or something like that. Or should I kill myself? And I don't understand that kind of mentality, frankly. I mean, I know there's a number of people that are clinically depressed and need professional help and things like that, but it seems like there's a significant number of people that fall into that category on Quora. I don't know if it attracts those kind of people or they're there seeking help or what, but I don't even know that they're really despondent as much as trying to push the question. But I was evaluating this as I went through my answers, and I was enjoying the fact that I kind of discovered something. So I think there's three types of people in this world. There are the people that say the glass is half empty, and they're usually not very happy. And then the glass is half full, and they're usually pretty happy. But then there's a third kind. I discovered this last night. So there's another group that is like, where's my damn glass? And the people that are subscribed to that theory are the ones that want to begrudge people that are successful from enjoying the success that they have rightfully earned. And I get that all the time. I wrote in one of my answers that I'm generally a very happy guy. I'm not usually unhappy about anything. And they said, of course you're a happy guy. You're rich and successful, and you're a white man living in the United States. So therefore, you're gonna be happy. Well, I got news for you. I started working when I was 10 years old, pumping gas at my father's gas station. By the time I was 13, I was working on the weekends, running the entire shift on Sundays myself at 13 and 14. I worked my senior year of high school at my father's company. I worked all through college, and I worked an 8-hour day, and I worked 8 hours at school, and I worked an 8-hour day. So I was working 16 hours a day for 4 years I was in college, and on the 2 years before I started the company. The first 2 years I started the company. So, I don't know why people continue to want to berate me for being successful. I worked my ass off for most of my life since I was 10. So I've been working for more than 40 years. And you do anything for 40 years, you're probably going to get good at it. But you work your ass off for 40 years, you typically have something to show for it. So for me, those people that are screaming, where's my damn glass? I was thinking about something when I was writing my answers. And the thing that occurred to me is that they always say, well, you're happy because you're successful. And I always say that, yeah, I mean, I have been successful, but that's not why I'm happy. I realized last night that I'm not happy because I'm successful. I'm successful because I'm happy. And it wasn't always like that. When I was in 97, when I met my wife, I was not a very happy guy. I was working 20 hours a day. I was working at the company and working at the university. So I'd work 8 hours a day at the university and grab some dinner, and then I'd work 8 hours a day at the company, and I'd spend an hour or so on personal time, and then I'd get 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and I'd get up and do it all over again. So I was not a very happy person. Thankfully, we had clients in the mental health field, and I was able to talk to some of the professionals that I know that are friends of mine, and they're like, all right, well, what do you do for lunch? And I said, well, I mean, I grab something and I eat it at my desk getting work done. And they're like, okay, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you decide to go ahead and take a break for lunch? And I'm like, whoa, I don't know. And they're like, okay, I want you to take an hour and a half break and go somewhere nice for lunch, not just not some drive-through or something like that. Sit down and enjoy lunch. And I go, I can't do that. I mean, there's not enough hours in the day. And they said, I don't care. I mean, if you want to be happy, then this is what it's going to take. All right. So I did it for 30 days. I ate out, I think it was 2 or 3 times a week, because I really couldn't afford to do it every day. But I did it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe. And, it took about a month, 8 lunches, before I really started to relax and enjoy being out at lunch. And of course, the company didn't implode while I wasn't there. And we still made our numbers. In fact, we started to pick up sales. And it was interesting that the happier I became, the more successful I became. And then when I met my wife about 4 or 5 months later, in March of 1998, when we met, I had nothing. I mean, I had my own house, which was about a $124,000 house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, nice house. I had a mattress which was on the floor. I had a sofa, and that's it. And when I met her, we had to actually go to Walmart and buy one of the plastic, outdoor furniture tables and 4 plastic chairs. It was like $40 for the set. And we used that for a year until, the end of 98, when we kind of hit it big, and started bringing in some money, paid everything off, and bought some real furniture. But it's interesting though. I realized that meeting her was one of the best things that ever happened to me, and that it was interesting because the happier I got, the more successful I became. And it was great meeting her, and it was great having her a part of my life. And so for me, it was an opportunity to continue to seek, happiness in other things that I did. And it worked. So for people that aren't very happy, they go, well, I'm not happy because I'm not successful. Everybody, you have to do you, but you have to be happy. You have to make a decision to be happy. One of my answers, I pointed out that, if you have a $36,000 a year job and a 20-year-old beat up car, and you have an ugly wife, then you're like, man, I'm unhappy. I got a shit job, I got a shit car, my wife's ugly as hell. And I made the point that, look, you're doing it all wrong. That you have to look at the fact that there are people that have no job, there are people that have no car, and there are people that have no wife. And so you are, head and shoulders above that person. So I don't know why the problem that people don't really fully appreciate what they've got. Be that guy, be the happy guy that's grateful for your $36,000 a year job. Don't settle for it. Work on getting a better job. But understand, I mean, your wife loves you, and that's a great thing. Who cares? I mean, beauty fades. I mean, you can have the most beautiful supermodel wife, and eventually she's going to get old too. So you may even get tired of your ass. So it's an interesting phenomenon that I think that people put value on the wrong things, and they don't have an opportunity to allow themselves to be happy. I was very lucky. I had good friends that gave me great advice, and I'm passing that advice along to you guys now. I think it's well worth looking at what it takes to make you happy. What is it that's going to take to make you happy? And make a decision to be happy. People posted in the answers, it's not that easy. You can't just decide to be happy. Yes, you can. There are lots of people that have it much worse off than you. I mean, do you still have both arms and both legs? Great. You're a hell of a long way ahead of guys that were in, Iraq and Afghanistan that came back with one arm and no legs. So, I just think you have to have some perspective. And I think people are lacking the perspective to really, really appreciate what they have. So I want you guys to all take an inventory and inventory what you got, and then look at it and say, look for people out there around you that don't have that. That somebody has a shittier car or an uglier wife or a shittier job. I mean, if you're working in a company and somebody's coming to empty that trash can, that guy's got a shittier job than you do. So, it's all a matter of perspective. In fact, the nicest people, the people that I'm the nicest to, are the guys that come empty my trash cans, because they work hard. They're good people, and it's a shame they don't have a better job, because they're really genuinely good people. But you have to make the decision to be happy. That's completely on you. If you're not happy, you need to do something about that. But you don't have to take any action. You just have to make the decision to realize and appreciate what you've got. Thanks, guys. I'll see you again soon.